Welcome to life in the desert and to the world of HypeCraft. Minecraft is a game of endless possibilities, expanding with regular game updates, and when playing in survival, there's a scope of progression that players need to learn to keep expanding and growing their worlds. That's where I'm at. My name is Rob, and in every sense of the word, I'm an average player looking to level up and learn the game block by block. In my forever world on HypeCraft, join me on a journey of improvement from humble explorative beginnings in a blanket desert landscape, to making early essential farms to cover every basic survival need, to building habitats for animals and villagers alike, all whilst learning the ropes of new mobs and biomes as the months pass by. 2. Creating a farming operation and importing animals to new homes in the bright desert skies, to shaping storage and automated farms to make life gradually easier for players, to crafting travel infrastructure, bridges, rails, and mining networks for expansion across the coral seas, and to shaping the future of the world via a growing industrial sector that has become essential for bigger and in-progress projects. This is just the beginning, a mere snapshot of what is to come as we look to transform the game's toughest overworld biome into a functional survival paradise, and hopefully, fingers crossed with any luck, becoming a better player along the way. My name is Rob again, and welcome to HypeCraft. You might just be wondering where on earth we are in the Minecraft world. And no, it's not a dumb question. We're not in day one, all the way back at spawn. We are in another part of the desert, far from home, as we are in a makeshift studio, which is over 2,500 days to the current time in July 2026 when I'm recording this footage. We are going to do a different way of the channel. As I'm a newbie and I'm somebody that's learning how to grow and build the game, there's a lot of footage of me trying to figure out how to build some really starter bases to some buildings and other types of infrastructure. So I thought before I did any recording, it would be worth being able to take the time to actually play the game at my own speed. So we're going to break down every episode with myself at my home studio here in the desert. Is this going to be my permanent home of operations? I hardly doubt it, because in the background here we're going to have a little sneak peek of one of the buildings that I'm currently working on, and you're going to see it a lot throughout these videos, which is my big time movie studio in the background. We have several large rooms under construction and a few massive walls that have already been filled in, but there's no doubt that I'm going to show you more footage over time throughout the game. We also have next to it a part of our infrastructure for our transportation links, which helps link the movie studio to some of my other base, which is across the way and beyond the veil of cover. We are currently in my temporary movie studio. It's a circular base that I'm also going to show at a later date as well. But for the purpose of the introduction today, we're going to set up the episode. And when you start Minecraft, what I've learned is that you do a lot of exploring, you have to get a lot of early farms underway, and that's what today's episode is going to focus on. I've got a lot of auxiliary footage of myself traveling around the desert world at spawn, and we're going to go right from the very beginning. You might see me pop up in a lower third throughout the game. That's absolutely natural, and it's going to happen quite a bit as I explain some of the processes throughout the game in a more natural way that suits my style. I hope that you like it, and before we get into it, just a big thank you to anybody that actually stumbles across this video. I'm starting completely from fresh, and if you like the design and the music and what I'm trying to achieve on the channel, the only way to support me is to hit the like button and to subscribe to HypeCraft, and I'll do my best to engage with everybody in the comment sections. So let's go downstairs into the movie studio, because we have a couple of floors, and I just want to go over some of the base rules in the game. So I've created a few bubble elevators that I'll showcase at a later date how to make, but for now we're just going to go down into the bottom section of our movie studio. So you can see it's a couple of levels up. It kind of looks like a water tower, and over here we have our rules of the desert. I'm just going to spin myself around, and we're just going to go over some of the basics of the channel and what I'm looking to achieve. Rule number one is that I'm doing this 100% in vanilla. Vanilla Minecraft has changed substantially since I started playing and recording the game in July 2025. At the time, there was no Nautilus, there were no sulfur cubes, there weren't any of the desert husk camels or any of the additional mobs that you get in the desert, and there wasn't as much spring and life in the game as there is now, and that's all big and all part of the process that we're going to be going over throughout the channel. So we're not going to use any mods. All the footage that you're seeing on YouTube is going to be authentic. I'm not using any shaders. This is a completely vanilla experience. So I'm sorry if you're a guy or a girl that loves to watch shaders in games. This is going to be a proper grassroots adventure. I'm not one of the HypeCraft who are absolutely brilliant. I'm more grassroots at the moment. I'm trying to learn and grow from the base, from the grass. So that's kind of my MO in the game. Number 2, we're playing the game on Bedrock Edition. So if you ever have a question in the game, if it's Java or Bedrock, you can rest assured the answer is Bedrock. Do I like this version? Absolutely. Are there problems? Absolutely. Do they impact my game on the whole? And has it been an annoyance? In reality, there's been maybe 1 or 2 things that have come up that have impacted my game, but I wouldn't say that it's destroyed my experience playing the game. Number 3, we're going to learn the game and accept feedback. If I've done a build and there's an amendment or something that you think could be a good addition, if you think something sucks, if you like the way that the channel's progressing with some of the designs, by all means, I'm here for feedback. I'm not professing myself to be a grandmaster of architecture. I want feedback. I want to be able to engage with everybody. And finally, I'm going to play the game at a slow and steady pace. It's just who I am. And also, I'm not exactly a big time builder. I've never beat the Ender Dragon. I've never even gone to the end. We're building up from the very bottom. So we're going to see a lot of farms. We're going to see a lot of buildings resurrected to help myself navigate the world and grow. So apart from that, let's go into today's episode. And without further ado, we're going to cut across to the very beginning of the game, where I started right from the menu as a brand new newbie into the game, not really knowing what to expect. So let's cross over to the menu on day 1. Okay everybody, we are now at the main menu screen and it's time to pick our forever home at HypeCraft. So what we're going to be doing is doing a blank seed. We're not going to change anything. It will be what it will be, and we're of course going to call the game HypeCraft. We're going to do it on survival, under normal difficulty as well. The only other things we're going to do is we're going to change a few of the advanced settings. We're going to have the bonus chest, and I'm the type of player that likes the coordinates and the days played shown on the menu. I know a lot of YouTubers don't like it because it gets in the way and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but this is my game and we're going to play it at a slower pace, so this is something that I like to have and need and rely on when we're playing. Apart from that, we're going to leave everything else on, the TNT exploding, of course, the fire spreading, and the only other thing we're going to change right at the bottom is the chunk distance. It just gives us more of a visual for nearly 200 blocks when we're in the game. Apart from that though, let's load up the game, let's see what we're working with, and let's start our world. Okay, so, oh my days. Oh my days, we have been spawned into a sandy biome. And if I'm not mistaken, wow. Okay, so one thing I want to check first and foremost is the chest. Before we move anywhere, let's get the chest in. So this is just some provisional starters. I'll just explain how I like to organize everything. So I like to put all of the blocks on the top, or the wood blocks that is. And I also like to play with all of the food on the bottom. Okay. All the ancillaries at the bottom that we don't really need for now. And we'll leave all the food there. So this is a nice little way to do the game. Okay, brilliant. So first and foremost, I've never started once in a sandy biome ever. It looks like, if I take a little walk around, we're on the periphery. Oh my god, we have started with a village right next to us. A tiny little village into the distance. I'm pretty sure that's a desert temple that we're going to raid. We've got lots of cacti around us. We are in sand heaven. This is an incredibly interesting start to the game. This is kind of what I wanted. I didn't want to go into a jungle or a birch forest or the Great Plains. I wanted something a little bit more unique. I've never had the chance to have a camel in the game. And obviously one of the first things we see is a camel as well. Just before we go, we're going to leave. We're going to take the chest. For sure, we're going to need the chest. But we're going to leave one of the torches there to commemorate where we started the game. Okay, the torch can stay there. We might need it. But wow. I'm a big fan of camels. I want to be able to have a camel farm. I'm going to see if there's anything that we can do with camels. I know that you can ride them. Hello, we're riding a camel within the first couple of minutes of the game. This is brilliant. Wow. I love it. Okay, so whilst we get off the camel, one thing I want to note first and foremost in the game is that the visuals of this game, the way that the water works, is so much more vibrant. Since the update with the ghasts, look at the water, it's so much more tropical, it's so much more beautiful, and there's a lot to work with here. So, I know what the temple is over there. I believe that we can raid this. So, I'm going to walk in. We're going to have a look at what we're playing with. On day one of a build, I didn't expect to be spawned so close to a village and so close to a monument that we can go into, or a village temple. Okay, so what I know that we have to do is we have to basically mine away at those areas there. I usually like to get a water bucket, and put it into the middle, glide down, get the chests, then set off the alarm, get the TNT to explode whilst I'm jumping back up the water slide. So there's a few things we might have to do here to help the villagers out. We have to get rid of this lava for sure. See what we're working with. I want to see if there's any chests. No, maybe not up there. We have a couple of little buildings. We got a fletching table there. And this doesn't go anywhere, so let's go down. I think the big worry for me right off the bat is going to be the food. Okay, let's get a respawn point set. Okay, I'm really happy with the start. This is going to be a really interesting build. So what I think I'm going to do first of all, just before nightfall, let's help the villagers out. Let's put some sand down into the. Let's put some sand down and get rid of all of that random lava that's appeared. A long story short, not every first day is filled with drama and excitement. I looked at some water, and I filled in some lava on the floor to help some villagers and myself sleep at night, because I'm the type of sucker that would fall in and die on the first day. So let's do something a little bit more progressive now with some early farming in the game. Minecraft players are obsessed with getting in some early doors resources, and of course number one on the list is getting some base blocks from trees like wood, and then we can also get cobblestone as well, and coal helps really well in the early game so that we can get some torches in place. And second of all, of course, is food, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the ocean, I'm in a coral reef, so it took me a while to understand that salmon and cod don't always spawn in those areas. You have to fight your way through tropical fish, which gives you half a bar of health. And then further upstream, as we're finding our first different biomes of land masses, we found some salmon and cod. Then we approached nighttime, which is where we would go and get some seeds. We'll go. Let's keep driving down the coast. And we'll see if there's anything that we like. I think what would be really beneficial is if I can get any wheat very quickly. Let's just use one of my tropical fish. Said at these early stages when you're playing Minecraft, it's really important that you're just basically foraging for what you can. Wheat's such an easy produce in the game. Whenever I play Minecraft, I usually make bread. That usually sustains me. I usually just have big wheat farms. What I really want to do is make a vertical wheat farm where I just press a lever and all of the produce just goes into a hopper and a chest at the bottom of the drawer. So, okay, brilliant. Getting a lot of seeds here. As soon as it hits night, we'll get back in the boat. The sea has provided us with some food, and the land has provided ourselves with some seeds and some dirt blocks so that we can get in progress an early stage day one farm that isn't going to look too pretty in the game. Our second night in the game was spent a little bit more dramatically fighting off our first zombie, as well as finding some ancient portal ruins with some gold enchanted weapons, which is brilliant. And this all led to the third day where we would find ourselves our first wood type realistically that we were going to consider to use at the base. Okay, so this is a mangrove. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, now we're just going to go collect some mangrove. I'm going to be doing some cardinal sins and leaving a couple of hanging trees for now. Chest down there. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do before we go back home is we're going to pick up some dirt. So we may as well get it along the coastline. This is so that when we build our little farm, we can use the dirt and the hoe to start. We can use some of the dirt, obviously, to get the farming. So we can plant the wheat, sorry. Okay, so let's just try to get a few stacks of these. Oh, it's going to be quite a journey bringing soil back and forth, dirt back and forth between the islands. Let's just see what's on the other side of the sandy terrain, though. What I think would have been absolutely brilliant is where you can get the terracotta. It would have been amazing to have a Mesopotamia. So then the sand could have had the orange and the yellow backdrops, and it would be perfect to create paths with as well. Okay, so how have they got their water source? They've got one little water source in the middle. So let's move away from the little village. So we've got Mr. Camel next to us. And what I'm thinking is we can have any of these open areas to be ours. The village should be an extension that we build into, which will be really nice, but it shouldn't be the center point. So I'm just trying to find an area that just will do its job. So do you know what? Okay, maybe not right next to a cave, but we can use that in a minute. Okay, brilliant. So this is a big flat area. Let's get to work. So a nice and simple farm. First of all, let's just see what we can do. So we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we'll have 9 in the middle. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we should have is a spot in the middle. So 2 on either side. So 1, 2, 1 in the middle, then 1, 2. Brilliant. Okay, so now we've built a little mangrove pen. What we need to do is fill it in with lots of dirt. And again, these aren't permanent structures. I kind of think that we're going to have something else in the future. But for now, it's just nice to have this as an option. And then what we're going to do is we don't have any items with us, so we're just going to dig out the rest of the sand, fill it with mangrove just to give it a more authentic look. Okay, that looks a lot better. Okay, so what we'll just do is we don't have any water yet, but what we can do is use the wooden hoe and just get down as many of these as we can. So this is a super basic farm. I could easily do 4 on either side. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for now, for this one, we're just going to do a 2. So right next to the hoe, we're just going to have some of them ready to go. So then all we need to do afterwards is add water. The final step for our farm was to get some iron ingots. In order to get that, it meant that for the first time I was going out exploring in some caves, and as you can see, we found some coal ore and we also found some iron ore so that we could then smelt up and go back to the farm so that we could create a bucket to transport water to fill up the farm so that the crops can start growing as well. So the first thing I'm going to do for now, let's stick in some coal. Stick in the iron. After this, we'll stick in the raw copper. We'll go away. We'll collect everything else. The copper here is looking good. We'll take the iron ingot with us. Okay, brilliant. So we should have enough now to craft. So let's get the copper on the go. Smelt everything that we can. Can we create the bucket? Where's the bucket? Brilliant, we have a bucket. Nice and simple. So we now got the potion for a cauldron as well. So simply what we're going to just do is fill in all of the sides there. We can just put a couple of torches, one on either side. Then 5 apart, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can leave it there. It's fine. This should be enough just to easily cover. All of this. I'll pop back in the next time when I've got this all filled in, because all I have to do is go to the water sources and fill it across. Okay, so the farm is filled in. We've got a constant water supply, some torches down, as well as this. You can obviously have a slightly bigger farm going across 4x4, but this is just the simplest way that I usually start a farm here. So we may explore that, but essentially we've got a nice little simple base. We're right next to a temple. We're right next to a little farm. And yeah, that's essentially where we're at in the video. So I think for the first episode I may end it here. It's gone on for quite a while now, and yeah, this is just some of the basic stuff that people get up into when they start Minecraft. They have to start focusing on food, if they've got anywhere to sleep. Fortunately, I'm occupying the cartographer's room at this tiny little village here. I can't wait to be able to get a camel farm up and running. It's going to be a really interesting one. I've built a tiny little farm for some wheat. We're going to incorporate a larger village on this side of the island. It's a nice little area for planes. We can build some stuff on the water and in the middle of it as well. It's going to be quite a challenging game, I believe, because of the lack of trees, but we can make it work. We just need to get... As we put a ribbon and bow on the first episode of HypeCraft, I just want to thank everybody that's put up with me throughout the entirety of this half-an-hour episode, and I assure you there's going to be more bigger builds on the horizon in the future. But I want to stress to any new player playing the game, the immediacy is to basically do the following in the video that I went through today. Be it looking for seeds, collecting dirt, building very rudimentary Bronze Age, Stone Age level farms. If you're a Minecraft whiz, you've probably completed the game in half an hour if you're a speedrunner. But for me, this game is going to be played ultimately at a snail's pace as I learn to grow in the game. If you're new to the channel and this is the first time you're watching HypeCraft, pop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. Any feedback will be greatly appreciated. Even if you're trolling me, it's a-okay. I'm here to engage and I'm here to build up my own community and help other players as well. So apart from that, I just want to say a big thank you, and I'll see you on episode 2 where we're going to be looking more into wood farms on our channel. So until then, thank you and goodbye.